50 years ago today, a Saturn V rocket carried humans for the first time on a journey to the moon. Apollo 8 marked a triumphant way to end a traumatic year. Chip Reid looks back.
In 1968, spaceflight was in its infancy and was a thing of wonder.
Oh, and there's the rumble in our building.
Walter Cronkite anchored CBS News coverage from the Kennedy Space Center.
But what a beautiful flight. Man, perhaps on the way to the moon.
In some ways, does Apollo 8 feel to you like it happened yesterday?
In some respects, yes. It's never gone away from me.
We met one of the astronauts, Jim Lovell, at the National Air and Space Museum in Washington.
Sometimes I look back and say, you know, how did we ever do that?
Lovell, Frank Borman, and William Anders were the first humans to leave Earth's orbit, circumnavigating the moon 10 times. The mission was planned in just 4 months as the U.S. raced to beat the Russians to the moon. NASA's flight director believed they only had a 50% chance of coming home safely.
Some of the odds of trying to be successful in that mission are overwhelming, and perhaps at that time we didn't even understand what the odds were.
The mission may be best remembered for this photo, Earthrise, our planet as seen from the moon. And for a live Christmas Eve broadcast, the most watched TV program ever at the time.
And God bless all of you on the good earth.
Lovell also flew on Apollo 13, which had to abort plans to land on the moon after an explosion in an oxygen tank. But he says Apollo 8 may have been even more momentous.
1968 was a very bad year. The Vietnam War was going on. There was assassinations of prominent people and student uprisings. And finally, we brought back something that the Americans could be proud of.
50 years later, that pride still remains. Chip Reid, CBS News, Washington.